Ready for Idol on Idol violence. I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Tjpw March 5th, 2022, available on Wrestle Universe. The road to Grand Princess is ending, and this show made me excited for what that event will bring. A giant 10-women's tag match headlined the show, but there was also a couple of other fun matches on the card. This was a multi-camera show with no commentary, and the Up Girls sang a dance to open the show. The first match was a tag match. Nadoka with Kei Toribami on one team and Mahiro Kiru with Haruna Neko on the other. The match was fine, but nothing really to write home about. I am having trouble breaking down the match, though. There was nothing really of note about it. It was just a tag match with a pretty slow pace. I did notice that Kei Toribami was in for most of the match for her team, taking a lot of claw scratches. Mahiro Kiru did feel a bit more crisp in the match, didn't do her apology spot, and seemed to fight the match a bit more straight up and not being a stickler for the rules. Time will tell if this is a one-match change or if her character is changing. Mahiro Kiru hit Kei Toribami with the power slam for a 3 count to win. The next match was a pretty fun 3-way match, Hyper Misao versus Yuki Aino versus Ariso Endo. If the previous match felt generic, this match was not that. It was full of energy and creativity. Hyper Misao asked for the mic and tried to get either Ariso Endo or Yuki Aino to join her and fight the other. This didn't work, and Ariso Endo and Yuki Aino teamed up against Hyper Misao, at least to start the match. This match had a constantly changing alliances and backstabbing. It felt like they used the fact that it was a 3-way match to their benefit. At one point, Hyper Misao and Ariso Endo were teamed up against Yuki Aino and ran away from her and hid under the ring. Yuki Aino went down to the floor to chase them and looked under the ring but couldn't find them. While Yuki Aino was looking under the ring, Hyper Misao and Ariso Endo snuck up behind her from different sides of the ring and sprayed her with cold spray in the face. I also should note that Ariso Endo looked good this match and not out of her depth even though she's just over 1 year of wrestling experience. At one point she broke up a pin attempt with her shin curb stomp thing, which I had not seen before. In all the chaos of the 3-way match though, Ariso Endo got pinned by Hyper Misao with a Magistral Cradle. With the rate that Ariso Endo is progressing, I could see her challenging for the International Princess belt or tag belts with Suzume by the end of the year. The third match was a fun quick tag match. Raku and Pam versus Hikari Noa and Yuki Kamifuku. I liked the dynamic that Hikari Noa and Yuki Kamifuku had this match. We started with Raku and Hikari Noa in the ring. I have in my notes this may be the fastest I have ever seen Raku in the ring. It was a short section, but Raku was running rings around Hikari Noa, which I did not expect. There are comments and rumors you hear on occasion that Raku is very athletic, but you almost never see it in a match. Her character is the opposite. Then Pam was tagged in and she rung the Bowery on Hikari Noa, while Raku tried to do the Oshiami Express on Yuki Kamifuku, but Yuki tripped Raku and helped Hikari get revenge on Pam. Raku and Pam have been tagging semi-regularly the last year or so, but over the last couple months they are pretty much an unofficial tag team. I think Pam Harajuku's in-ring growth enabled this. She's stringing together more moves, adds a few moves into her arsenal every once in a while, and doesn't look lost in the ring. It is odd how Pam takes the majority of the offense for her team and builds up to the Raku hot tag though. Raku is the queen of sleepy style. It doesn't sound like it should work, but it does for a fun team that you don't really expect to win. I mentioned earlier how I like the dynamic between Hikari Noa and Yuki Kamifuku. There was a section of the match when Hikari and Yuki went on a bit of a tear, hitting stereo dropkicks on both Raku and Pam that looked really good, and on point and on time. The end of the match saw Hikari Noa and Pam Harajuku trading moves, with Pam having the upper hand. Hikari was able to dodge the Palm de Justice attempt by Pam though, and got a beautiful bridging suplex pin for the win. The next match was a singles match between two soon-to-be leaving Tjpw wrestlers, Nadoka Tenma versus Maraki Kobashi. Another match in the Maraki Kobashi graduation tour. This match was not important for any future stories, but it was put on more for sentimental reasons. The match started pretty conventionally with trading holds and locks, but Nadoka Tenma's strength was on display and she was able to overpower Marika Kobashi. This match felt a lot like the match Marika Kobashi had with Miyu Yamashita last month, in that it felt like an extended squash match. Marika did get some offense in, but Nadoka Tenma had controlled pretty much the whole match. There were multiple Samoa drops by Nadoka, and even one jumping one. That jumping Samoa drop led to a kill switch by Nadoka Tenma on Mariko Kobashi for the 3 count. After the match, there were no hard feelings and they hugged and fist bumped before heading to the back. That brings us to the main event, a giant 5 vs 5 tag match. On one team we had Miyu Yamashita, Maki Ito, Mizuki, Yuka Sakazaki, who were all the current champs in TJPW, and Suzume. The other team was Shoko Nakajima, Yuki Arai, Miyu Watanabe, Rika Tatsumi, all the challengers for the championships, and Moka Miyamoto. You can't really break down a match with this many competitors in it, but this match did have a point. During the match, there were mini previews of the upcoming Grand Princess title matches. The match started with a giant brawl between all the competitors, which is a great way to hype up the crowd. The first preview was Daydream, Miyu and Rika, who had a section against the current tag champs, Majigarabi, Mizuki, and Yuka. Miyu Watanabe and Mizuki had a really good chemistry for this section. Next, it was Miyu Yamashita, current Princess of Princess champ, versus Shoko Nakajima. This part felt stiff, and Shoko was great at selling. There was a scary spot though, where Shoko's feet got caught on the ropes during a dive, but thankfully Miyu Yamashita was able to slow down her fall so she didn't break her neck. And finally, it was a preview of the upcoming International Princess Championship between current champ Maki Ito versus challenger Yuki Arai. These two also have pretty good chemistry together in the ring, and the biggest surprise of the show happened. Maki Ito was able to make Yuki Arai tap for the submission victory. This ending put so many thoughts in my head. Go Home Show Math says if the champ pins the challenger before the big show, the champ is gonna lose. But TJPW doesn't really do that, so why did Yuki Arai tap? The champ getting pinned in a tag match to set up a title shot is common, but submitting the challenger? I don't remember that happening in TJPW. After the match, the whole locker room came out and said quick 5-second promos about their upcoming Grand Princess show on the 19th of March. This was a fun show, and I liked the second, third, and main event matches the most on the card. There was also going to be one more TJPW show on the 6th before Grand Princess, but was recorded so will be available at a later date. This was the Joshi Wrestling Recap for TJPW March 5th, 2022. Thanks for listening.